Lae Police arrest 5 suspects involved in armed robbery. Cancer patient dies while awaiting treatment. And Kandarian Gloucester get access to radio and television.
This is National EMTV News with Lorraine Gabina.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Saturday's news. Lae Police have arrested 5 suspects involved in an armed robbery near the ANZ Market branch in Lae on Tuesday. Lae Metropolitan Commander Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi said 7 armed men held up the employees of a mobile store who were making their way to the bank. A large sum of money was stolen while the security manager of the phone company was also held up and a bag containing the company's licensed pistol also stolen. Martha Louise reports from Lae.
The suspects made off in a waiting vehicle, but police were alerted later and were able to track down the vehicle. The car was abandoned at the works compound. Police believe the suspects may have been picked up by another vehicle. Police are investigating their getaway and the use of vehicles. Wagambi said the owner of the vehicle that was used in the initial getaway later reported that he was held up and his vehicle taken from him. Police are investigating the circumstances of the use of vehicle and the owner of the vehicle will be brought in for questioning.
All late la money come, 6 pla only come one time 6 pla gun. Only pointing me pla. This was 6 pla gun, only pointing me pla guards 3 pla one time 1 pla another pla weapon call security firm guard. Na 3 pla only running on the side, gives him money back long Marilla phone house. Current money back he come or kiss him na. This like time only run away.
On Wednesday, upon information police have gathered, went to the center market at the back road area in the earlier hours of Wednesday morning. In an attempt to surround and apprehend them, the criminals fired at the police. Police returned fire and wounded one of the suspects. 5 suspects were caught along with 2 homemade guns and 5 9mm bullets. Police say most of the suspects escaped with the stolen money and the pistol. The wounded suspect is at the Enga hospital receiving treatment. He will be detained and later questioned. The suspects apprehended are aged between 20 and 22. 2 of them are students. Police believe the pistol used to fire upon police was the same stolen during the robbery. Police also believe the weapon is in the hands of a known escapee who is on the run for armed holdups and murder. Investigation is continuing. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Lae.
Sir Michael Ogia, 9th and current Governor-General of Papua New Guinea, has sadly passed away at the age of 75. Sir Michael Ogia was elected Governor-General on 14th January 2011 when he defeated Pato Kakaraya 65-23 and was sworn in on the 25th of February 2011. He was later knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2011 on his appointment as Governor-General at Windsor Castle. An official statement of his passing is yet to be released by the Prime Minister's office. A cancer patient we have been following has tragically passed away and will be buried in Gaire. It comes after she sought treatment at the Lae Cancer Treatment Facility where there hasn't been a chief oncologist and CT scan. Without an oncologist, radiotherapy cannot be carried out. Winnie Solian has passed away from cervical cancer at the age of 37, leaving 8 children behind. Bethany Harriman with this report.
Winnie's family sit on their veranda today grieving over the death of their only daughter. She died of cancer on Wednesday. This is a picture of Winnie Solian on her 21st birthday. She died at the age of 37, leaving behind her husband and 8 children. Her mother, Kwalimo Taukarai, says her daughter could have been saved if treatment started early.
When we were told they are going over to Lae, we all had hope that she would come back good and well so that she would survive and look after her children, because her children are still small. But somehow it did not happen. She went more weak, and the sore came spread all over her body.
Winnie had traveled with her husband Gary Solian to Lae for treatment at the early stages of cervical cancer, but she had to wait for 2 months before she started treatment. Gary has called on the Health Minister Michael Ogia and the Health Secretary Pasco Kase to fix the problem. Gary says his wife was put on radiotherapy and treated by 2 trainees after a month of delays.
We were told there's an oncologist, but he's not allowed to do anything. There's Dr. Niblet, because, I don't know, whatever him and the government have an issue and whatever, but everyone, as you saw on the report, they're all wishing and hoping for him to come back and give reports and they can get treated, but likewise, we'll just set like them.
The Lae Cancer Treatment Facility doesn't have a chief oncologist. Gary describes the state of the Angao Treatment Facility as appalling.
Who do we blame? You can't blame the Angao staff or the doctors. They did everything they possibly could to keep my wife happy. The professionalism, no question. But with the minimum resources and medication and all that they have.
There are at the moment 25 patients waiting to go through radiotherapy treatment, but without an oncologist, they can't complete the treatment. The Angao Cancer Treatment Facility in Lae not having a chief oncologist and a CT scan to treat cancer patients is nothing short of an embarrassment for the National Health Department and the Angao Hospital. Now, patients have gone over to Lae looking for treatment. Some of them have passed away. One of them, Winnie Solian, will be buried here in Gaire tomorrow. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News.
Opposition leader Don Polye believes he can win the Kandep seat in Enga province for the 4th time in the coming general elections and vie for the top spot. The Kandep MP visited some of the rural electorates in his district recently to reconcile with the people who rejected him in the past. Among the locals who greeted the MP with placards were magistrates, councillors, church and community leaders and dance groups. He told hundreds who gathered that a change in government was looming, saying the signs of the country's governance themselves warrant that change. Polye's Triumph Heritage Empowerment Party helped form government back in 2012, but the leader was expelled from the ruling coalition government. The 5-year period of the Special Intervention Funds that supports the delivery of high-impact projects in the autonomous region of Bougainville has lapsed. Vice President of the autonomous Bougainville government, Patrick Nasira, called on the national government to renegotiate and allow the rollout of projects in the region. The Vice President also requested the national government to release outstanding grants for Bougainville.
We will have to renegotiate this big funding so that we may continue this transformation in development and we will come up lo Bougainville do this time. Government block ABC, mipla still, on behalf of people, we need those grants, the drawdown of those grants, those outstanding development grants, and we must stand down the region so that we as a government, mipla can work in budget, not continue. Long put in budget where me play believe, me play must develop Bougainville, low way me play yoklo ting longan.
The people of Kandarian Gloucester in West New Britain will now have access to radio and television. Member for Kandarian Joseph Lalang, together with NBC's Managing Director Cora No, launched a new television and radio tower and a mini broadcast studio. The television tower and mini broadcast studio was funded by the Kandarian District Development Authority at a total cost of 3.5 million kina. Last year, a memorandum of understanding was signed between NBC and the member for Kandarian Gloucester. Stories making headlines overseas when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Thousands of Catholics took to the streets in Manila to protest against the drug-related killing under President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. The march, dubbed as the Walk for Life, comes 2 weeks after the Catholic Church slammed Duterte's war on drugs for creating a reign of terror among the poor.
Within the 7 months since Duterte launched his anti-drug campaign, more than 7,600 people have been killed, over 2,500 of which police say were shootouts during raids and sting operations. Catholics, many of whom appeared to have dressed in white, did not carry placards mentioning Duterte's name, but leaders urged accountability from the government and the police, who have been accused by human rights groups of extrajudicial killings. Bishop Pablo David, who leads the church in Manila's Caloocan district, where most killings take place, said the Bible is clear about the sanctity of life.
It's the poor drug addicts who are the main casualties in this war, no? So para sa amin, I think this needs a little bit of a reassessment, a little bit of a reevaluation of its direction. As Catholic Church, no, as Christians, we're just making a moral and ethical stand for life. No?
Today's march also protested other policies under Duterte's government, such as the proposal to reinstate capital punishment and the termination of peace talks with Maoist insurgents, policies the church viewed as anti-life.
Pwedeng magbago ang tao. Meron silang panahon para magbago. Hindi, pag nagkamali sila, kailangan patayin agad o kitilin ang buhay. Sapagkat hindi atin ang buhay. Diyos ang nagbigay, Diyos lang ang pwedeng kumuha niyan.
Almost 80% of Filipinos are Catholics, and unlike in many other countries, the majority still practices with enthusiasm. While the support has historically given the church significant political and social influence, it has been hesitant to criticize Duterte's war on drugs. He has in fact routinely attacked the church. He cursed the Pope for causing traffic snarl-ups during his 2015 visit, and in his latest attack this week, called for a showdown with priests whom he has accused of having wives, engaging in homosexual acts, misusing state funds, and molesting children. Melissa Caviro, EMTV World News.
Malaysian police today said they had arrested a North Korean man in connection with the murder of Kim Jong-nam, half-brother of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The man, supposedly in his late 40s, was identified as Ri Jong-chol. Police said in a statement that he was arrested on Friday. Ri Jong-chol is by far the fourth suspect arrested in the investigations into the murder of Kim Jong-nam in Kuala Lumpur on Monday this week. Malaysian officials said a second autopsy would be performed on Kim Jong-nam as the first one was inconclusive. North Korea said on Friday it would categorically reject Malaysia's autopsy report on the half-brother of leader Kim Jong-un. True Kai Sports is next. Details after the break.
True Kai Sports.
Welcome to True Kai Sports. Whilst a lot of focus has been on the adults, the next generation of PNG's football players are making waves themselves. This morning saw the launch of the Centauro Sport Academy, which involved teenagers and budding footballers, some as young as 6 years of age.
Yeah, so today is, it's our after-school sports program, soccer program. We do a range of sports, but obviously soccer's a popular one. And today is more of an exhibition day for kids to come and try out the program, the parents to come and see what it's all about. And then officially we start next Monday and Wednesdays after school, 3:30 to 5:30. 3:30 to 4:30 the young ones, and then 4:30 to 5:30 are the older ones.
Throughout the world, similar such programs have created world-class players, and the concept, now brought into the country, feels the desperate need for player development. Lots of fun and laughter, however, as since this being the first day at camp, the concept was more about enjoying the beautiful game.
The whole idea is, I think, the big thing that we need to do, Papua New Guineans, we love sports, and I think now these days times have changed. You know, there's all sorts of other things that kids are looking to do now, and I think sports is very important growing up.
Reginald Davani, who through his time as both a player and coach, has learned to value nurturing young talent and grooming them for the future. And many of these young children also showed a lot of prowess, as well as their knowledge of football.
Because he's good at soccer and he loves playing it. 3, since I could walk.
When you score a goal in the future, what type of celebration are you going to have?
You know how people jump up and do this?
Yeah.
That's what I do when I score.
You have to go like that, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy Mogi, National TV Sports.
To Rugby League, and 2016 champions Lae Tigers have defeated Fiji Aviators in the Melanesian Cup. Coach Stanley Tepin said prior to their travel with experienced players like Timothy Lomai and David Loko, he was confident of bringing the trophy back to PNG. The Tigers earned their spot in the championship after defeating Agmak Gurias 14 points to 8 in Port Moresby last year. Their win over Fiji caps off a fantastic year for the Lae boys. 49 teams batted it out in Port Moresby Corporate Indoor Cricket semi-finals competition today. Indoor Cricket Executive Charles Amini said losers in today and tomorrow's matches will be eliminated and the winners proceed to the finals next Saturday.
From the 49 participating teams playing in the semi-final rounds today, winners will proceed into the Super 8 round next week, which will be the final round to end Season 5, while teams eliminated will bow the season early. Executive member Charles Samini said it has been great to see corporate participation in this season compared to last season.
The semi-finals competition is divided into 3 groups. We have the Super 8s. So the Super 8 consists of the top 4 teams in each pool for both the men's and the mixed. So they're the 4 best teams, and they are now playing crisscross from across the other pools. So we started last Saturday, so this is the 3rd round today, and to be completed tomorrow.
He says having to see other provinces participate in the tournament is a good way to promote indoor cricket in the country.
The top 10 in each pool, 40 teams, are qualified for the plate, cup and bowls.
He says once the indoor cricket season ends, other competitions will follow.
We finish next weekend, and then we go straight into our Big Bash tournament, which starts end of March, ends end of April, and then we go into the Port Moresby, ITI Port Moresby cricket competition for outdoor. So that goes right through to the end of September. And the indoor starts in October.
Winners from today's and tomorrow's matches will go head-to-head for the top sport next week and closing the season off with a gala dinner on March the 4th. Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
America's golden girl of skiing, Mikaela Shiffrin, is looking to make history in the Alpine World Championship in Switzerland this week. The 21-year-old American is trying to become the first woman in almost 80 years to win the title 3 times.
It's a number she's grown accustomed to seeing every time she crosses the finish line. At only 21 years of age, Mikaela Shiffrin has already won more than most skiers in their entire careers. This time around it was silver in the giant slalom at the World Championships in St. Moritz. Her 3rd medal at the World Championships after winning back-to-back gold medals in the slalom. This insatiable winning streak started at the age of 17 when she stunned veterans on the tour to take gold.
That win was huge. I mean, I realized how big ski racing can be, especially in countries like Austria and Germany and Switzerland. Instead of football, they worship ski racing. My first win was in Austria, and it was like I didn't sleep until midnight the next day. So winning World Championships is So good for your career, worst thing for your health.
Along the way, the US ski star has learnt how to deal with high expectations, and she's met them numerous times. At 18, she became the youngest slalom champion in Olympic history, which propelled her into the spotlight.
That's one of the things that I didn't expect, the fan base. When I first started on the World Cup tour, then I saw this group of people in the stands that said Michael Schifrin Fan Club, and I was like, who's that? I like went home and asked my parents, like, is somebody paying these guys to hold up that sign over there?
What is the coolest part of your job, of being a ski racer?
Well, the traveling is really cool, for sure. And everybody always wants to know, you travel for your job, that's amazing, you know. How is that? Do you get to explore?
This place is absolutely beautiful. That lake, that's Lake Ohau.
The bummer of it is that normally we come into a place, we race, and then we leave. And I don't learn that much about the culture or the history. What I learn is basically what I see.
As for St-Moritz, well, she didn't come for the breathtaking views, but to secure another gold medal from the World Championships. And after winning silver in the giant slalom, she's now the hot favourite for Saturday's slalom race after dominating the World Cup this season. Would anything other than a gold feel like a bit of a disappointment?
In a way, once you win, if you don't win again, it's sort of like you've lost something. After 2 World Championships and an Olympics and a bunch of World Cups, not winning sort of stings. It's sort of a greedy cycle, I guess.
When you're this good, it's difficult not to walk away with the spoils.
And that ends True Kai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, it's mostly fine in all centers. In the Momasa region, Lae and Medang mostly fine, then evening showers or 2. In Wewak and Vanimo, it's mostly fine. In the New Guinea Islands, mostly fine in Lorengau, mostly fine in Kavieng, and also mostly fine in Kokopo, Rabaul, Buka, and Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, expected rain and showers for Mount Hagen, then becoming cloudy with evening showers for Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi, and Wabeg.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that has been the news, sports and weather for this Saturday, the 18th of February 2017. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Lae Police. Good night.